Hello, Mel. I'm Raya, the registered dietitian. It's nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Hi, it's nice to meet you too. I'm doing okay, just a little shocked by Jada's recent diagnosis and where to go from here.
Well, I'm happy to help with any questions that I can. Let's start by addressing what glycogen storage disease is, specifically type 1. My records here indicate that Jada has experienced a swollen belly, fussiness, and delayed growth. Are there any other concerns or symptoms that you have noticed?
Not specifically, Jada was a full-term infant, but lately she has been crying more and doesn't seem to be growing, even though she appears to be hungry all the time. I'm not sure if this is relevant, but she used to have a tighter grasp and my fingers and hair. I have noticed recently that this is not as strong.
Okay, so glycogen storage disease is an inherited condition that impacts how the body synthesizes and breaks down glycogen in the body. So it is characterized by a deficiency of an enzyme, which is glucose 6 phosphatase. And this deficiency leads to hypoglycemia or the low blood sugar and other metabolic complications, which Jada seems to be experiencing. Common symptoms also include having an enlarged liver, a high content of acid in the blood, and elevated lipid levels. Her uric acid content in her urine might be high and poor growth, and she may experience osteoporosis. If you don't mind me asking, are you feeding her breast milk or formula, and if so, what kind?
I have breastfed Jada thus far. However, since her diagnosis, I have been researching glycogen storage disease on the internet. It's saying that she should be given a sugar-free formula. I'm not sure I am ready to make this decision. All of this information is starting to overwhelm me. Is there any way we can continue using breast milk?
Yeah, it may be possible to continue using breast milk. However, it does contain lactose, which helps increase the storage of sugar in her body. Glucose is the storage form of glycogen in the body, which increases when stores build up. So, since you have discovered sugar free formulas with your conducting research, this explains why. So, typically, we try to introduce a soy based formula that is low in sugar. This will help alleviate the buildup of glycogen and help regulate her blood glucose levels. We can discuss a plan with the doctors to see if breast milk is still acceptable. If so, it may need to be fortified with calcium, vitamin D, or iron, however. How often is she currently eating?
I typically feed her every 4 hours. However, through the night, if she continues to sleep, I do not wake her to feed. Sometimes she will sleep for up to 6 hours without disruption. When she wakes, though, she is extremely hungry and fussy.
Well, you are lucky that she is sleeping for such long periods at a time. Although she may seem to be okay resting, glycogen storage disease typically requires feeds every 2 to 3 hours. This frequent feeding prevents the blood glucose levels from rapidly adjusting, so it appears that she may experience a low blood sugar when she wakes due to the missing enzymes. This could be adjusted with the help of a special diet, however.
Okay, although I am still unsure about switching to a formula, I am willing to try anything to help elevate her pain. I would like to know more about the types of formula if that's okay.
Of course, that's okay. We want you to feel comfortable and will do anything we can to help treat your daughter. We typically suggest a soy based formula which contains less sugar. This can be provided orally or through a feeding tube. Several infants with glycogen storage disease obtain overnight feeds through a nasogastric tube. Are you familiar with this type of feeding method?
No, I'm not. Can you inform me on this option?
I would be happy to. So, a nasogastric tube is a method to deliver food and medicine to the stomach through one's nose. This can be used for all feedings or as a means of supplementation. Since we recommend using this for overnight, Jada would be receiving an adequate amount to maintain her blood glucose levels as she sleeps. This would prevent you from having to wake up every 2 to 3 hours throughout the night to feed. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, I think so. What would she be receiving through the nasogastric tube?
So she would be consuming her oral feeds. It would just be through a tube. So therefore, during the daytime, she would consume either the formula or breast milk, depending on what we decide. And then at night, she would receive the same through the nasogastric tube.
So, okay, this makes more sense. Would she be on this special diet through her lifetime?
No, she should still be introduced to solid foods around 6 months of age. However, it is still recommended to consume foods lower in sugar. This results in limitation or omittance of fruits, juices, and other sugary foods. Most individuals with glycogen storage disease type 1 consume uncooked cornstarch. This is a complex carbohydrate that is difficult for the body to digest, which help regulates blood glucose levels for an extended period of time when feeds are spread out. It also increases fullness in the individual. Although no age requirement is set for the introduction of cornstarch, they recommend it to younger children. Therefore, we may have to wait another year or so until we introduce this to her.
This is a great information. I'm glad she will not be stuck on formula for the rest of her life. Do you happen to have a list of foods that we can introduce to her once she reaches 6 months of her age?
Of course. Here's a list of some low sugar foods that we can also discuss label reading when we get closer to the time as well. For now, I would like to recommend using Similac Soy Isomil ready-to-feed formula, which comes in 5-ounce bottles. I would like for her to receive 3.25 ounces every 3 hours throughout the day to supply up to 260 calories. During the night, she will initiate continuous feeds through the tube-feeding nasogastric at a rate of 29.6 cc's per hour for a total of 12 hours to supply an additional 240 calories. Together, she would receive 500 calories, which is the recommended amount for a healthy 4-month-old female. And consumption of the nutrition, which would help maintain a blood glucose level and promote normal growth and development, she would be consuming 25 fluid ounces a day. I know this is a lot of information, but we would like to initiate this feeding regimen here soon if you are okay with that.
Oh, this sounds like a promising option that I am willing to try.
That's great. We can head in with the medical team to discuss this option and educate you on how to use the nasogastric tube. We will also work with measuring the correct amount of formula for each feed. Do you have any further questions?
No, I do not believe so at this time.
Well, it was nice to meet you, Emma. I look forward to following up with you and Jada in the next 4 weeks to evaluate her progress. Here are some additional resources that may be of comfort for you. If you have any additional questions, please feel to contact me. Here's my email address and phone number. It was a pleasure working with you, and I wish to see you soon. Best of luck.
Thank you so much for your help. Have a good day.
Thank you.